Metroid Other M is a good game, alright? Okay, now before I start a bunch of arguments with people over the internet, let me just say that I can understand why some people would dislike this game. I mean, gameplay-wise, it's not Metroid. I mean, this game is to Metroid as Dane Cook is to comedy. Completely different, but at the same time similar. Only difference is, Other M is entertaining. The main reason I say it isn't a Metroid game is the exploration featured in Metroid games we all know and love doesn't come in the game until, like, the very end. And for average skilled players like me, it should only take about half an hour. This is actually not unlike the sadly single act in Hell from Doom 3. We need more hell. Never thought I'd say that. Anyways, if that's not enough, there are... I can't say it. Okay, are you ready for this? There are no hidden weapons. That was your mind, and I'm being serious. After beating the game, I went through it again with all my cool power-ups to find that all there is to be found are missiles and energy tanks, axle charges, and those things that help you concentrate. Yeah, in this game, Samus needs help concentrating. I guess I'll have to touch back on that later. The second reason this isn't a Metroid game, I mean, it is, but if you ignore the story, it isn't, is that, as you all probably know, Team Ninja made the gameplay portion of this game, which doesn't excuse not having hidden stuff. But this gameplay is good because Samus does feel like a ninja, and Samus feeling like a ninja is good because she doesn't normally feel like a ninja, but hey, if they could make a first-person Metroid game, they can make a ninja-ish Metroid game where Samus fights... Oh, my God. You know, this review is getting worse and crappier than the popularity of the very game I'm reviewing. Okay. I need to think of something to stop this video from getting crappier, because it's already crappy. I need to stop it from getting crappier. Okay, here's an idea. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to pick the random video of somebody who thinks Other M sucked, explains why it sucked and stuff, and I'm going to comment on it, compare notes, you know? Like unscripted sort of thing. Like, yeah. Well, let's try this out. Alright, let's get this son of a bitch started. Okay. Metroid Other M sucked. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to capitalize that. M sucked, and there we go. Okay. Top 10 games of E3 20. Metroid Other M, why it sucks, mega review, the ultimate... Well, this sounds good. It sounds professional and explanatory, and not some guy just whining about whininess. Let's check it out. Volume.
Metroid Other M fails on almost every level. Both gameplay and design were crushed by the powers that be.
Oh yeah, really proves your point with all the awesome kick-ass on-screen action there.
At E3 2009, Nintendo dropped the bombshell that they would be making the next Metroid game in conjunction with popular Japanese third-party developer Team Ninja. Now, I don't know how the meeting went exactly, but I find it hard to believe that at no point did anybody mention that handing the most well-respected female icon in video games over to the people who made this... might not be such a great idea.
He's got a point. He's got you there. I mean, Samus Aran is already way too over-sexualized on the internet, so... But, guess what? They didn't do it. In fact, there's only one little bit other than the cutscenes where you play as Samus in her Zero suit, and it's pretty much the same thing as the end of Metroid Zero mission, except instead of a stealth, it's more of a time trial, race against the clock thing. And I usually hate time trials, and I like this part, so let's just see what this guy's got.
This is where I break the sad news to everybody. You see, the truth of the matter is that Team Ninja only handled the gameplay and aesthetics of the game. The entire narrative and story was completely made by Nintendo and headed by Yoshio Sakamoto.
What, so do you want the character of Samus to be over-sexualized, or do you not?
Now, I don't know what Sakamoto's thought process was when writing this story, but something must have gone severely wrong, because the Samus he created doesn't seem to be the same one we thought she was.
That's true. I wouldn't go so far as to say the story sucks, but the character of Samus just... But, you know, if you're one of those people who look for gameplay more than story in a game, I know there are a lot of you out there, hell, I'd say that's the majority of gamers, you can get by that, right? I mean...
So many contradictions are made towards the established Metroid universe that Nintendo had to stealthily remove the Prime series from the timeline.
Stealthily remove? They made a pretty big deal about it. I mean, even I know about it.
But you see, by removing the Prime series from the timeline, Nintendo are readily admitting that they fucked up and made plenty of contradictions with these free games.
Or maybe they were just wanted to make like a, God, I don't know, a non-canon alternate universe kind of thing, a retelling, like Star Fox 64. That the original Star Fox line of Star Fox and the unreleased Star Fox 2 was changed when Star Fox 64 was released, and then the rest of the timeline revolved around that. So, you know, and that's a great game. It's a treasured game that everyone loves. So, yeah. But on the other hand, it's not half as story driven as this. So, yeah. I'm out of words. I mean, I agree with him, but I don't agree with him at the same time. It's pretty awkward.
And I'm going to break this to you, Nintendo. Believe it or not, people haven't been playing Super Metroid for the last decade. They've been playing these games. You can't just suddenly pretend they didn't happen because people are going to notice.
They didn't pretend they didn't happen. They just kind of took them out of the timeline. They're not saying the games didn't happen, just the story is non-canon.
How embarrassing must it have been to hide the most critically acclaimed games in your franchise because you didn't double check your fucking writing?
No, I'm sorry. The most critically acclaimed game in the franchise is the aforementioned Super Metroid. I mean, everyone loves this game. I mean, don't get me wrong. Prime series were awesome too, just epic, but hey, Super Metroid, I can go in the streets and find the 5 gamers who think Super Metroid is better than Metroid Prime, but whatever, he likes them better.
In my opinion, the only thing not canon in this series is this mediocrity.
Ha 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 ha, my friend. You cannot remove Metroid Other M from the timeline without removing Metroid Fusion from the timeline. And that's all I can say.
Some people think that the only reason people believe that Samus became a bad character in Metroid Other M was that she was a crying bitch instead of a badass like in all the other games. Well, maybe some people do, but they're idiots. The reason is because the way she is portrayed is not consistent with the things previousused in the franchise.
Again, this game does kind of ruin her personality, but just let's just keep watching.